Well, how did Judd feel about you saying that to his wife?
Funny story. Didn't know it was his wife at the time.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Coley. Welcome to this special episode of Seen on the Screen, brought to you by Make It Universal and Rotten Tomatoes, where we talk movies with some of the people behind the scenes at NBC Universal. My guest today is Craig Robinson, star of the new DreamWorks animation film, The Bad Guys 2. Mr. Craig Robinson, sir, welcome to Seen on the Screen.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. As I was telling you a little bit earlier, I just, last night, I watched Bad Guys. First of all, I wish I would have seen it sooner because it's absolutely hysterical. Your Mr. Shark is a scene stealer to everything you do. But I'd love for you to talk a little bit about how you got involved in the project and just, again, getting to have another incredible voice performance.
My manager and I were called over to DreamWorks, and they actually pitched us this movie. They were showing the sketches and you know, who they were thinking about for the cast. And, you know, the director, Pierre, he's from Paris.
Yeah.
And, he's telling me about it. He, with this, French accent. He's so...
passionate, I'm sure.
Yeah, so passionate. And I was just sitting there like, you had me at hello. But they went through everything. And I was on board, right away. I loved it.
I love it too. And the one thing I think is interesting is obviously folks know you from so many things that you've done, but you're, a comedian originally and a musician. And I think like with voice animation, the hardest part of that is the fact that like you don't have an audience other than the director, but you still got to get it. Talk about what is it like for you in the booth? How do you get there to bring out Mr. Shark?
Well, it's a collaborative process. So you got the director, you got the producers, and we just really making each other laugh. And, the line will be there. I'll do the line a few times and then I'll embellish and then I'll just start going off and then they'll catch something and go, okay, and then, they'll get ideas and it goes back and forth like that for a very long time.
All right, Mr. Master of Disguise, do your thing.
I promise to play you respectfully.
Where's my flowers? Prego, cappuccino.
And then this probably happens all the time, actually. You get warm. You find a character, then you go back and record the stuff you did in the beginning.
What's your favorite part? Because, folks have seen you in a ton of stuff. Stuff that you did with Seth, obviously going back even to on NBC with The Office. What is your favorite part about doing animation that you don't necessarily get to do when you're on stage with comedy or behind the piano or, doing a performance on screen?
It's a freedom. You can run in place or stomp your feet, whatever. But it's just you, really, battling with yourself for which line you want to come out with. So there's an extra layer of freedom that you don't have to, you're not constrained to acting with others.
I think it's so funny too because I don't know if other people would say, but I would say, I feel like you're really an NBC Universal person. Going back to The Office, and then of course you had the show Killing It, and now you're back with The Bad Guys. I feel like NBC is like they gotta keep calling you back in. And I do feel like there's something to say for like when you make projects here. I do think it's like what you said with DreamWorks. They really welcome you in as a collaborator. Talk a little bit about that, because I think you've had a lot of great memories on this lot.
Absolutely. It's been a beautiful ride at NBC. It's funny you say that because as a producer a long time ago, like, The Office was cooking. Maybe we were 4 or 5 years in. And a producer, she was like, I want you here for the next 11 years. And I was, okay. And, and I think we passed that.
A little bit.
So, yeah, it's great, and I don't know if it just happened. I don't think somebody's at NBC Universal like, get Robinson, but it has wonderfully worked out like that.
This is kind of a fangirl moment for me because I think you get this, but like, yes, of course, I'm obsessed about The Office, but also like, again, anything you've done with Seth Rogen, I've also loved it. Like, and you've done some of my favorite lines. Like basically anything you said to Kelly on The Office was like something that I was like, I want a boyfriend to say that to me, or anything that you said.
Access your uncrazy side.
Sorry. Sorry to be a little PG, but take your panties off. Epic song, What's your favorite line that you've gotten to do? Either, animated, live action, because so many of yours are my favorite.
Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Yes.
Her name Bubbles.
Her name Bubbles, yeah.
Han Solo never had sex with Princess Leia in the Star Wars. It was just so ridiculous the way I would say, because I had to say it like 1,000 times because everybody had to get their coverage. That just comes back. Han Solo never had.
Han Solo never had sex with Princess Leia in Star Wars. Yeah, in the Star Wars. I dig it. I wonder if Harrison Ford's seen that line. He has to have seen it. I want to know that. Harrison, if you're watching, just let us know. I think,
Please.
I think he's probably seen it. That was lovely. Thank you for that. We're now going to dive into some other things that maybe you've seen on the screen with our popcorn buckets. So these are going to be quotes from films that you probably recognize. Whoa, that person has really got him or herself into quite a predicament.
That's Zack and Miri?
No, Office.
That's The Office.
But it's late. It's not.
I said that?
Yes, this is you. This is late in the show, though. This is like very late in the show.
Is that about Ed?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Because it was like, I think Angela was finally figured out that she was still with Dwight. And it was that. Man. When people come up to you for The Office, do they want you to say things from it? Or do they want, and what is the thing that they want you to say? Because the unleash your crazy side like that. Is it good?
You know what people want me to say all the time is, I think, I seen it. Or there'll be random lines and they'll be getting their video ready. Hey, could you just, like,
I didn't even say that. I seen it. The meme. Oh my God, your face has been so all over the internet from that one. Everywhere. I seen it. But, honestly, that's just Black people saying though too, but like, because if it was crazy, it can't be I seen it. No, I seen it. It wouldn't be the scene on the screen. It'd be the scene on the screen. Sorry, y'all. They're gonna kick me out if I do that. Moving on. I can't let you in because you're old as fuck. For this club, not for the earth.
I can't let you in because you're old as fuck. For this club, not for the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an improvised line.
Well, how did Judd feel about you saying that to his wife?
Funny story. Didn't know it was his wife at the time. If I did, it would have been a whole nother scene. But come right in, So.
So you hadn't met Leslie Mann like that at that point.
Thank God I didn't know because
Honestly, I'm glad that you were that. I mean, he wrote it for her too. Like he wrote the scenario. He just told you to, go right ahead.
I can't let you in because you're old as fuck. For this club, not, for the earth.
What? So that was Knocked Up, Judd Apatow. Mm-hmm. Another person who's had a long history with Universal, partnership through comedy and everything that they did. And Knocked Up, I think, was that first one.
It was a wild time because I was broke and stuff, and I was performing my act in Vegas, and the scene shot on Friday, but Vegas is Monday through Sunday. So I had to take off a day in Vegas and then fly back and forth, and I was flying standby. So I'm hoping I made it,
Wow.
But everything worked out just fine. God was like, I got you.
Listen, flying standby, that's risky. No, I need a seat.
Tell me about it, yeah. But I the cash wasn't cashing.
No, listen, there was a time I could do that, and that was probably the same time you were doing it. Actually, I wanted to ask you this because you are a comedian, and I've noticed this with so many of you. You were talking about how you're still doing sets right now. I feel comedians never want to go away from it. Like maybe you were a singer and now you're an actress. You're like, okay, fine, I'll be an actress. But comedians, it's almost like y'all are in the gym and you never want to get out of shape. Like y'all always want to get back on the stage. Is that what it's like?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my antennas are up, so it's, these jokes are coming. And as I grow more, I'm learning how to, construct. I really never knew how I wrote. I just kind of was inspired and kind of, put stuff down and edit here and there. But now I'm seeing how jokes come together for me, like in a different ways. It's very, it's thrilling, actually.
I mean, I think that's why it's really a craft, because you're talking about it. Sort of like being a painter. As long as you're still getting reps, you're always going to be learning. And I think that's really great.
I subscribe to the idea that if you love anything enough, eventually it will give up its secrets to you.
Ooh, Man, I don't know if asking questions is giving up his secrets to me, but I still dig it, man. I do. I really do.
There's an art to asking questions.
I hope I'm doing okay, but I really, sitting across from filmmakers and people like you, it is my hallelujah heroine, because I want to know. I'm inherently nosy. And so I've managed to make a job out of it. It's totally cool. You're inherently funny. You managed to make a job out of it. That's the way the world works.
Right on.
We're going to move on to our next quote. Pop me, please.
Pop me, please.
Yeah, pop me, please.
That would be from Bad Guys.
Yes. Like with animated stuff, I don't know if it's little kids. I feel like it's mostly a lot of parents turning to you being like, this is Mr. Shark. And they're like, that ain't Mr. Shark. Have you had that moment yet where they're like, give me the voice, do me the thing, with like little children who are like, that ain't a shark.
My cousin was just telling me, she was like, man, I knew the voice was familiar. And then she saw the credits. She said, oh, it was you. And she said it felt good to tell her kids that, your relative is.
Be worse if she didn't recognize you and she just went through the whole movie, saw the credit, be like, that was him?
No, that's exactly what happened.
Oh, really? Wow.
She recognized the voice. She was
but
like,
she didn't know who it was.
Didn't know who it was. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's funny, actually. That just means you're an incredible actor. You embodied yourself.
Thank you. I'll take that.
I love that you went to DreamWorks, because I do feel like that is a magical place. Like that is literally where they make dreams. And you join this incredible legacy. I mean, this is the people that made Shrek. They made The Wild Robot. They also made How to Train Your Dragon and just so many other magical stories. But you also had a voice role in Shrek, which DreamWorks is built by Shrek. That's the house that Shrek built.
That was amazing, because I was in Shrek Forever After. So it was Eddie Murphy, Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, John Hamm, and it goes on and on. And we did a press tour or something, and I'm here with all these like, Eddie Murphy was like, yeah, he's the guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I just, I'm honored to be a part of that.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe the ogre will make an appearance in Shrek 5 DreamWorks. He's right here. Just say it. Maybe he's actually in it and he's just like, shh, don't say it.
Chimichangas. People need chimichangas.
They do need chimichangas. Good call. Okay, we're going to move on to our next set of popcorn questions. You did amazing. These ones are going to be true or false. Dolomite Is My Name was Eddie Murphy's first ever R-rated film.
False.
False.
What was 48 Hours?
Oh, yeah, 48 Hours. It would be R2, right? Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop is rated R2. Yeah, I know Coming to America is rated R because the royal penis is clean. Sorry. That scene is not getting past an R rating. Sorry. That's what it was. Yeah. It's like the opening scene. That was the scene that my mother made me leave the theater because I'll never forget this. My mother was like legitimately upset that we were at that screening because I was a little baby. And she was just like, that is not appropriate.
But she knew she was taking to an R-rated movie though.
I don't think she did. I really don't.
How do you not know that? Every movie trailer, rated R. It's part of the trailer.
That's what she said. Now, she could have been lying, but she did take me out. Like, it was a whole thing. Maybe my dad bought the tickets. You never know.
There's a whole other story going on that you...
It was, maybe my dad bought the tickets. My dad is the Eddie Murphy fan, so I could actually see that scenario where he bought the tickets, made it a family night, and that she, good Christian woman was not having it. I mean, I'll ask Eddie next time. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Dolomite Is My Name. I love that, that film being a part of that, like that whole vibe, because that was a period piece too. Like I just really loved and I think every comic knows about Dolomite because he's sort of like the ultimate hustler. Like I think every Ride and Stand By. I mean, like Dolomite's whole existence was Ride and Stand By.
It was, cool to see Eddie do that and work with him in that capacity. On Shrek Forever After, it was just like, we kind of saw each other in passing but on Dolomite, I really had to become a better actor because I had to look at my hero and say these lines, and all I could think about was like, ice cream and all these bits, going through my head while I'm trying to say, oh man, it was crazy. But who's like one of the funniest people on the planet? Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah.
He would just have us in stitches, during the downtime, just riffing.
Yeah, y'all can improv like that too, which I think is so great. But that set was full of high quality comedians and also high quality actors because that's what Eddie is. And so he just basically divided himself throughout the casting of it because I think of somebody like that was the first time I saw Da'Vine Joy Randolph. And then
Now
2
she has an
movies later, she got an Oscar. And I remember
And-
seeing her in that and being like, listen, this is not a spark and you miss her. I
I'll
thought
tell
she was
you,
going to get it
she
for Dolomite,
put
if you want to
it
tell me.
down in Dolomite.
That was fresh out of Yale, right after she graduated and she got that role. Anyway, shout out to Da'Vine. Yeah, she's on Only Murders Left in the Building right now too, which is
Killing
dope.
it.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to our next true false question.
Okay.
The Peacock show Killing It was made by the creators of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Dan Gore and Luke
Del Tredici.
Del Tredici. Thank you. True or false?
Yes.
You're like,
True.
yes. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You, of course, had one of the most memorable arcs on there, Doug Judy.
Doug Judy.
You and just y'all arguing, you know, like Peralta and Doug Judy, but also then on the other side of it, you and Andy Samberg. Like, it was like the SNL skit that just kept on giving. Talk about that for you, because I know it was probably just one guest star, but then they just kept bringing you back.
I think they had a plan for Doug Judy, actually.
Oh, they did? Okay.
I think that's what happened. I remember hearing something like that early on. So we're going to bring you back next year. So, okay. When Andy and I would get together, it's like, you ever see 2 kids, they don't even know each other, they come together and they decide they're going to play, and then they just run off and they're playing. This is us as kindergartners out there playing. And, just the handshakes and all that stuff was just improv right there and just figure it out. We practiced a couple times and, okay, we're doing that. Yes, sir.
I also love, too, that obviously I think Dan and Luke had seen what you had done before, but what you did on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think, proved to them, it's like, man, because so many people I know for a fact talked about yours. There's tons of guest stars that come on that show, but like, I feel like yours is one of the top ones that people kind of mentioned. So when did they first start having those conversations about Killing It? Was it on the set of Brooklyn, or was it pretty?
It was towards the end of Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn. It was in this last year. My manager and I went to have a meeting with Dan, and then we were just kind of, fireball and stuff, and they were like, okay, we're gonna come back with something. And they came back with 3 ideas. I can't remember the other 2. I know one of them involved music, but one of them was,
Killing
It.
It.
Snakes and stuff, and it was just like, and then we were all like, well, we haven't seen anything like that, so let's roll with that one.
Now I want to see the music one, because if you don't know, this is a piano man over here. Can lay it down. Actually, when did you start learning to play the piano?
My mother played as soon as we were born, man. We were on the piano.
Wow. That's so cool, man. Now, I came to it late. I started piano lessons at like 15, and I was playing with kids where they were like 4, and I was like, this is not fair.
Oh, were you one of those?
Yes! Because I was
the
a choir.
15-year-old at the recital and everybody else.
I was a choir girl, so I was basically learning to be my own accompanist. That was the whole thing about it, is you want to be able to, back yourself up, understand your chords. Also, music theory helps you be a better, overall musician. But yeah, I was one of the old kids. Why are you making fun of me, Mr. Robinson, sir?
It was always so interesting to me to see.
Yes,
you got the ones
getting outplayed by 6-year-olds. Yes, it
30.
was. It built character. It built
Absolutely.
character. Because these little prodigies will humble you.
Ooh.
So your mother played. She obviously taught you, your whole family.
She taught us, and then we branched off into different music teachers. And I have a degree in music.
Yeah, but then you taught.
Yeah, I taught kindergarten through 8th grade music in Chicago and Indiana for about 3.5 years.
Not to like make this weird crossover, but how has Quinta not hit you up to come and be the music teacher on Abbott Elementary? Like, honestly, like now that I'm thinking about this,
she said, because we did a show together, one of those Jimmy Fallon game shows.
Yeah, password and stuff.
She said they tried to get me, but I was filming. So I would love to be on that show, man.
Okay,
so
Quinta,
good.
like let's get him. He's got bad guys too, but right after that, like
I'm unemployed, Quinta.
That would be such a great episode. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm like literally writing Quinta's show. She's doing just fine without me coming in.
Did you used to see her when she was comedy? What was the thing?
Like with BuzzFeed and stuff
yes,
too. Yeah.
he
got money.
Who is this girl, man?
I think she's her and Issa and like a few others are like what I consider, when people talk about like if you were just a creative person, other people will pay attention because they were just running. I think Eastside did a panel with Shot. I was just running my mouth on the internet and then things happen. And like with Quinta, I was just making a funny joke about being broke in Philly and then things happen. And like glad BuzzFeed got her on her start, but man, the sky's the limit. All right, a last true or false. The Bad Guys 2 began development 5 months before the first film even hit theaters. Is that true or false?
Yes.
You were on it like before it even came out. They knew.
Oh, I don't know. I was guessing. I thought you were going to tell me.
It is true. That's
Okay,
why you
good.
said it so confidently. I thought you knew. Well, that means
I know these animation, it takes time.
it does take time. What's the weirdest place you had to record lines for The Bad Guys? Because that's the other thing too. You could be someplace crazy and they'll be like, we're going to get on a Zoom. We're going to put you in this sound booth and we just need you to do this 3 times.
I think everything, we always were able to go to the studio.
Oh, you
and
were?
do it,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
But, sometimes they just need a placement for something or just need your voice for something, as a placeholder. So I'll just be, in traffic and, send them a few takes of this or wherever, backstage, whatever.
Yes. Okay. I dig that. Well, for guessing, you did amazing. I did want to ask you one more question about The Bad Guys too, because similarly to what you said about Shrek, you don't really hang out with them. You're doing your stuff kind of solo. Have you gotten to, with Sam? Because again, y'all's characters are so great. Who on the cast did you get to know the quickest once y'all actually maybe started doing press together?
Awkwafina came to one of my shows soon after. And
Oh, nice.
also, she was at this thing in Vegas, and it was just her and I presenting the trailer for Bad Guys.
CinemaCon, yeah.
CinemaCon.
That's right.
Yeah, so, I guess Awkwafina would be the closest I've grown to.
Gotten to know. Hey, another comedian. There you go. It's the comics sticking together.
Oh, and I'm cool. I've been cool with Mark Maron. I've been on his podcast for a long time
Oh,
ago. We know each other's
Mark
comics.
Maron, that's right.
And the one time I was supposed to do it, but I completely forgot about it. Like one of my, he's an agent now, but at the time he was like an assistant. But he he's like, "Where are you? You're supposed to be." I was like, and I was asleep. I was like, "What?" So I apologized profusely, and he had me on later.
You made it.
Yeah.
You were not the first, nor you'll be the last comic to sleep through a podcast. Actually, you're like the one comedian I know that doesn't have a podcast.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
How is that crazy?
I would like to hear more of you.
You'd think you would. I can see you now. Click. Craig's on. Just keep it quiet. Let's keep it quiet.
So we're about to get out of here, but before we do, I can't believe this because it's actually, you're in disguise on the poster, and I can't believe I didn't ask this. Do you have a favorite disguise of Mr. Shark?
I think it's almost the Italian guy.
It's the Italian guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he is uncannily. We can't even tell who he is.
I love the sheer stupidity of that. I love it so much.
It is kind of my favorite. I mean, look, they are a crew though, man, and I would call them for anything I need.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna do rapid fire before we get out of here. These are just first thing that comes to your mind. What's your favorite movie snack?
Popcorn with peanut M&Ms.
Nice. Second question, where do you sit when you go into the theater?
I like to sit in the back on the aisle.
Nice. Favorite actor?
Oh, favorite actor. Wow. Keanu Reeves.
That's a good one. That's such a good one. John Wick is amazing. Going to the movie theater alone, yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yes. What's your favorite classic Universal film?
Which Way Is Up?
Dig it.
Richard Pryor.
Yes, that is a good one. I love Pryor.
The best.
I want to watch Patti LaBelle. It's always cut off on Live on the Sunset Strip. You just see that Patti LaBelle was supposed to be there. I want the clip of Patti LaBelle performing, like, because they did it together. And like,
she performed that night?
Yeah, that was, she opened.
Did not know that.
I know. And nobody can see it because he only recorded him. But it was good enough that he just recorded him.
They didn't have internet back then.
I know. It's okay, though. But that's a double bill, though. Patti LaBelle and Richard Pryor. I mean, come on. Anyway, Craig, thank you so much, sir. Congratulations. I can't wait for folks to check out The Bad Guys 2, August 1st.
You're welcome. Thank you.